welcome to the Unmistakably Magic Podcast. I'm RJ.
And I'm Court.
We are two lifelong fans of Disney parks and all theme parks.
Each week, we bring you the latest news from Disney parks and beyond.
Plus, this week, we're going to be talking about Disney's Animal Kingdom.
It's our last things to know before you go Disney World
Walt
edition.
Disney World, that's right.
This is the last park. It's the newest park, and it's the last park that we're talking about.
And the largest park.
It is the largest park. It is a very large park.
Very large park.
But we got some news first off, so...
All right, we'll stick around. News coming up.
Let's get going. It's episode number 9.
Episode number 9.
Kicking off the news this week, the Disney Parks blog has announced that Clawhouser from Zootopia will be the exclusive Sorcerers of the Magic Kingdom card for this year's Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. The card will be distributed separately from regular Sorcerers of the Magic Kingdom card packs you're given at the Firehouse on Main Street, USA, and requires registration with guests, party ticket, and wristband. So you can only get this if you're going to Mickey's Not So Scary at Magic Kingdom.
That's unfortunate, but it's kind of cool.
Well, it's more of an incentive to go to Not So Scary. Because I've heard there's a lot of really cool reasons to go, and if they can just add a few more,
Why not?
why not? Yeah, make it a bit more fun.
It's funny to me that it's Clawhouser. I mean, he's a pretty minor character in that movie.
I think he is definitely.
But he's very memorable.
He's definitely very memorable, and he's definitely more of a comical relief kind of guy.
Oh, totally. When he pulls that donut out.
That's actually what his card does. Is a bunch of donuts appear.
Awesome.
It's pretty funny. Sticking with Halloween, but moving over to Universal, Eli Roth and Crypt TV have teamed up for this year's Terror Tram experience at Universal Hollywood. The all-new experience will expose guests to the fabled legacy of serial killer clown Hollywood Harry, the story of a former jovial celebrity clown turned depraved murderer, and a minefield of carnage he left behind.
No, thank you.
Nope. Not a fan of clowns?
Nope. Nope.
Nope. Crypt TV actually posted some things to their Facebook page promoting this, and it looks legit. The backstory behind it is very well built, and
Like it's real.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's why I googled it just to make sure. I was like, was this a real thing that happened?
No,
because that would be absolutely terrifying if it was.
It would be, but the backstory is that the clown. So like the original guy had an alter ego, which was the clown. And the clown was like the unofficial mascot of Universal Hollywood.
Oh, okay.
And then when the media started putting the clowns into more of like a scary or bad feeling, and like when circuses stopped getting popular, that's when he started going crazy and started murdering people.
Awesome. Yeah.
And now he's loose in Universal Hollywood.
Oh, that's cool.
Conveniently on the tram areas.
I'm not going to ride the tram.
Moving overseas, over to Dubai. IMG Worlds of Adventure will be opening on August 31st and will be the world's largest indoor amusement park. Spanning 1.5 million square feet, the park will boast 4 zones: Marvel, Cartoon Network, Lost Valley, Dinosaur Adventures, and IMG Boulevard. This park is opening over in Dubai.
All right.
It sounds cool.
It does. Is this part of that whole
the
development
whole
that we were kind of talking about
the whole Dubai parks and resorts? Yes, I think this is the second thing to open up over there.
Okay. Because we talked about some kind of
movie land area
park
thing.
kind of thing. Yeah.
I think that opened up or is opening up really soon
Okay.
too. But this one, the big thing here is the Marvel area, because that'll be the first time in a theme park that Marvel has had its own area, and it will actually have attractions in it. And the Lost Valley Dinosaur Adventure roller coaster, because it's a launch roller coaster with like 3 or 4 loops in it.
That's fun.
So, and it's all indoors.
That's
which is
crazy.
really cool.
Yeah. Which in Dubai, maybe that's kind of necessary.
Probably very necessary. I wonder how Six Flags Dubai is going to handle that. Six Flags
a lot of misters.
Six Flags is not known for its misters. Let me tell you. You've been to Magic Mountain recently?
No.
Man, it's horrible. It's hot. Star Wars Season of the Force is coming to Disneyland Paris Resort. The limited experience will take place at the Walt Disney Studios Park and promises a giant nighttime spectacular unique to Disneyland Paris and will give guests the chance to encounter heroes from the Star Wars universe as well as a few members from the dark side. The event will run from January 14th through March 26th, 2017. Based off of Disneyland Season of the Force, this one sounds a little lame because they're not redoing Space Mountain over there.
Oh, they're not?
Even though I think that Space Mountain could be astoundingly better with a Star Wars layover.
Really?
Yeah. That is the most high-tech Space Mountain that Disney has ever built.
Yeah, you said that before.
Because it's a inclined launch hill. It has inversions in it. You could easily do a dogfight theme
Star Wars.
with Star Wars.
Yeah.
But they're putting it over in the Studios Park, which is not in Disneyland Paris proper.
With the Tomorrowland, yeah.
With their Discoveryland.
Oh.
They don't have Tomorrowland over there.
That's right. Rename it all weird, yeah.
Amateur. I think this is really just to encourage people to go over to the Disney Studios Park.
Yeah.
Because it is a very bland, unpopular park over there. People hate it.
Oh.
It's astounding. There's like 3 rides in there that anybody goes for. Rock and Roller Coaster, Crush's, I forget the name of it. It's a roller coaster themed around Crush from Finding Nemo.
Okay.
And the new Ratatouille ride.
Yeah, I've heard good things about the Ratatouille ride. So that's why I guess in my mind I didn't think there were issues with that park because I had heard such good things about the Ratatouille ride. So
yeah, Ratatouille is bringing in a ton of crowds, but that's the only thing. It's that and Crush right now are the top 2 rides over there, and other than that, I've heard people describe it at best as a themed parking lot.
Wow, that's brutal.
It's very brutal, but at least they're bringing some more incentive to go over there.
I guess so. Sheesh.
Bringing it back over, Universal Creative has filed a patent for an interactive attraction that involves wands and the ability to change your experience mid-ride. The patent specifically uses the word wand and talks about how the adventures can be altered on the fly depending on rider feedback. This is exciting.
Interesting.
There's no guarantee that this will become an attraction. They just filed a patent for it.
Just an idea that,
Yeah.
lock it down now, yeah.
Yep. Kind of like Disney did with
lightsaber.
With the lightsaber
that
thing.
we're talking about the lasers, yeah.
Yeah, lightsaber last week, and a couple, I think even a year or 2 ago, they filed a patent for giant puppets that they could use for their fireworks shows.
Oh, okay.
That were held up by drones. So,
nice.
So yeah. I actually talked to the Imagineer who filed that patent.
Really?
Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm sure they file patents all the time, but it's always exciting to think what they could do.
Yeah, and this seems very promising though, because it specifically uses the word wand in it.
So theoretically, you could be riding something, pointing your wand at something, and then all of a sudden, your experience changes based on what you did with your wand.
Yeah, or based on like how many spells you cast.
Okay.
I know the article that I was reading, the writer is the mother of some kids, and she hates taking her kids on rides that like Buzz Lightyear, where they can't get a high score in it because they're just not very,
Yeah, they don't know all the secrets.
They don't know all the secrets. Plus, they're like 3, so they're not like able to even really like aim very well,
that's true.
and they're just it's just kind of an oversensory experience for them. But they've done it so much that they're like, I want a high score. Or like Toy Story Mania, I've seen plenty of people go on there where the adult isn't really doing anything because the kid isn't really doing anything.
They're just riding a ride, yeah.
Yeah, they're just sitting there, and you waited an hour to sit down for 5 minutes.
Watch some characters, yeah.
Yeah. So I think Universal's tackling it the right way, where the ride experience can cater to younger audiences.
That's true, yeah, based on how they interact with the wand. Yeah.
So it'll be interesting. See what develops.
They do with it, yeah.
See what develops out of this. Sticking with Universal, Toothsome Chocolate Emporium has opened in City Walk at Universal Orlando. The steampunk-style restaurant offers twists on classic steaks, seafoods, and pasta entrees, as well as gourmet burgers, sandwiches, all-day brunch. Entrees are under $25, which is very nice.
That is nice.
Always appreciated. The main draw, however, are the desserts. There are a ton of options available including milkshakes, sundaes, crepes, ice cream, and much, much more. There's also Candy Smith, which sells all sorts of chocolate candy wrapped in unique packaging like glass bottles and mason jars. They have a ton of stuff.
Yeah, I was watching some videos as this is open now.
Yeah.
And it looks awesome.
It is giant.
The funny thing I thought was in the background, you could hear somebody ask the hostess, like, can we just order dessert? And the host is like, of course you can.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. Because I didn't realize it was actually a full restaurant until it
opened, yeah.
Until it opened, I thought it was just a giant, like, I was kind of picturing, like, the Ghirardelli or, you know, like some of those things that, like, Disney Springs has, where it's just a candy shop.
Or like Willy Wonka.
Yeah, I kind of thought, okay, it's going to be a whole candy, or the M&M world, you know, where it's layers and layers of M&Ms and stuff. And I thought that was what I was picturing. So now to hear that to see that it's a full restaurant, it's interesting. And like
Very
you said,
nice.
under $25 is...
That's rare at City Walk.
That is.
That is very hard to come by at City Walk.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm definitely going to stop in next time I
Oh, definitely. I will.
It looks sweet.
I love the theming of it, too. It looks really
the
cool.
steampunk is...
steampunk kind of factory, Willy Wonka looking.
It's really cool. The thing is giant. And it has some really
It
cool
looks
views.
really giant, yeah.
It has some really cool views of Universal Orlando.
Does it?
Like the Studios Park. It's sweet. Or I think it's either this... I guess you get views of both parks.
Yeah, because it's kind of that.
They're kind of right next to each other. Universal Orlando has announced an exclusive annual pass holder event for Sapphire Falls. The event will give guests a chance to experience the resort for a few hours, as well as provide a carnival-themed atmosphere with all-you-can-eat experiences with cuisine from many of the resort's restaurants. The event is September 15th and will cost $45 for adults and $23 for kids over the age of 3, and tickets must be purchased through Eventbrite.
Okay.
This is kind of cool in that Universal's opening up the resorts to its APs.
Yeah, because if you're an annual pass holder, assuming you live local then, and then...
The majority of them do, yes.
And then you're not going to need a hotel room most of the time.
Nope.
So,
yeah.
Good opportunity to show off your hotel rooms. And
yeah, and even, because I know a bunch of my friends have AP annual passes over at Disneyland, and they'll tell their family members where to stay or which Disney resort is the best one to stay at. So I'm sure Universal's thinking of that, thinking of like, hey, you have an annual pass.
Come check out our new stuff. Friends. Yeah.
Come look at this one. Tell your friends about it. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Plus, I mean, it's also a good way of showing off your cuisine from the restaurants.
That's what sounded good to me, was just getting to try the different cuisines. And
yeah. Because I mean, I know a bunch of people just go to parks just to eat, especially if you're in Orlando
and you have an annual pass. Yeah, I would.
You have Epcot.
Kind of like we talked about Tables of Wonderland that Disney World does. Yeah.
It's just smart. This is just smart on Universal's part.
Really is.
It's
really
brilliant. If I had an annual pass and lived there, I would totally take this.
I would totally take it. I would go eat food. Yeah,
without a doubt. The last bit of news is new Nightmare Before Christmas merch is coming to Disney parks this fall. The new merch features Jack Skellington, the Haunted Mansion, and much more on shirts, hoodies, pins, and hats. The items will be available in Disneyland and Disney World, with select items available on the Shop Disney Parks app and the Disney Parks online store.
Nice. Have you tried the Shop Disney Parks app?
I have not.
It actually works really well.
Does it?
So it has a couple different features, like if you find an item that you like while you're in the parks, it will tell you where to find that item elsewhere.
Oh,
so you can create like a wish list, or like if you need other sizes.
Is it like other stores within the park?
Yeah, within any of the parks.
So you're like, I found this Epcot mug. Where else can I find it?
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's smart. That's cool.
I like it too because like sizes, sometimes some of the smaller shops don't have all the sizes, or they're out of a certain size, and so you can say, I want this shirt. Where is it available in this size? And it'll...
That's nice.
And you can buy stuff and have it shipped home that's park exclusive. That's my understanding. I haven't tried it yet, obviously.
Yeah.
But if you're in the parks and you're seeing something, you can scan the barcode and
and it'll
buy
bring it
that
up.
and ship it home.
Ooh.
So it saves you the effort of lugging it around or
Taking
flying
it
home with it or
flying
whatever
home.
else too. Yeah.
Do you still have to physically purchase the item? Because I know Disney does just straight up. You can purchase it there, and then they'll ship it to wherever you need to go.
Basically, yeah, they'll do that still, but it's also you're buying it online.
So you
and they're
basically
shipping it from a warehouse or whatever.
So it's Disney and Amazon in one.
Yeah, but park exclusive
So
stuff.
park exclusive Disney stuff.
Yeah.
That's sweet.
Yeah,
Oh, I'll need to download that and get going.
yeah.
on
The
that.
Disney Parks blog had a really good video on it when they first debuted it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, I'll check it out.
yeah. I downloaded it right. I was like, oh sweet, because I've had that with like shirt sizes and stuff,
Oh yeah.
or like you said, mugs or whatever else too. Like, oh, I really want that.
That one mug.
One mug.
Yeah, let's get it. All right.
Yeah.
Well, that just about wraps it up for news this week.
All right,
Let's jump into Animal Kingdom.
stick around. We'll be right back talking about Animal Kingdom. All right, welcome back. Tonight, we're talking about Animal Kingdom.
The newest Disney park
And
at Disney World.
the largest.
Not only the largest Disney park, but the largest theme park in the world.
Is it really?
It is. It is absolutely massive.
How huge is it?
It is 580 acres.
Okay, that is huge. Holy moly.
Animal Kingdom opened up on April 22nd, 1998.
Earth Day.
Earth Day. Every Earth Day is its birthday.
Which is actually kind of fun.
Oh, it's smart. It's cool.
Yeah.
Which fits the theme of it.
Very much, yeah.
And the park is themed to Walt's philosophy of animal conservation and the natural environment.
Totally.
And the park fits that 100%. And it's basically, as my older brother likes to describe it, Adventureland on steroids.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
Especially because Adventureland in Disney World and Magic Kingdom and in Disneyland have elements of kind of
Yeah,
Asian adventure, African.
kind of African stuff.
Yeah,
kinda,
jungle.
Yeah, kind of Indian as well.
Yeah,
a
so
little
you get
bit.
all that,
in Animal Kingdom. Yeah,
again, in each of their own lands at that point, too.
yeah, and it's so amazing in this park. It is
This
done
is my
basically to
favorite
perfection.
theming.
Yes.
As much as we might talk some smack about this park today,
it's great.
I love this park.
This park is amazing. It is very underrated.
Totally.
It is very misunderstood,
Very much so, yeah.
I would say.
Yeah.
It is probably the most disliked park in the Disney community. Because initially, when it opened up, everybody was just saying it's a zoo. And it's not. It is much, much more than that.
Yeah,
And
but I can see the criticism.
oh, 100%. And even, I believe, after the first, month or something, Disney's advertisement went to... They added the tagline, Animal Kingdom, not a zoo. Yeah, play on words.
Puns.
Kind of not a zoo.
Not a zoo.
It's not a zoo. But it's a play with kind of the African culture that is brought into Animal Kingdom, and it is this theme park is amazing.
It is.
I don't have words for it. It's
it's so unique. It's so well themed. Yeah, I mean,
it has some of the most unique attractions in it that wouldn't fit anywhere else in any other theme park.
no, you couldn't.
Really?
I can think of a few, but not really. But you're right, not really.
No, one or two of the attractions in this park. Well, I can think of 3 attractions right now that would not fit anywhere else.
Well, absolutely, and probably the big ones.
The big 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the majority of the attractions in here are exquisitely themed. They go above and beyond in their queue lines over here.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Just the area theming even to me
It's
is
amazing.
Like, you feel like my parents have been to Africa.
Yeah.
And we walked into the African area and they're like, this feels like Africa. This is what it feels like to go on a safari. I mean, this is
They do.
In fact, my dad was like, I saw more animals on here than I did on the real safari. I was like, and that was like a full day safari they went on. He's like, we never even saw any lions. Like, at least there's lions in Animal Kingdom.
Yeah, I've heard that about Animal Kingdom, and I've heard that about Epcot. Which, if you're comparing this park to Epcot, they did something right with this park.
Yeah, it's true, especially as much
with
as
their
we
theme.
love Epcot.
Yes, no, without a doubt. This park is probably my second favorite park at Disney World.
Yeah, I mean,
it's always a toss-up between this and Magic Kingdom.
See, mine's always that's always the hard one for me. Is Magic Kingdom and Epcot are 1 and 2 in my mind, and then this is a very strong third.
Yeah,
and as we talked last week and got texts from a few people,
kind of bashed on
Hollywood Studios. It'll come into its own. It's kind of like going through some growth pains now.
It's growing. Yeah. We will definitely visit that park sometime soon when all of it's back and
when it's back and better,
back and still up and running and all good to go.
So why don't we break down this park?
Yeah. So there are 6 areas, I should say, in this park.
They're very melded together.
They are. This park is very easy to get lost in, I want to say, first off.
Which I was thinking about it, because as we were kind of talking smack last week about Hollywood Studios, how it's easy to get lost in there and it doesn't make any sense. This isn't a very linear or round layout either, but it's designed that way so you find yourself exploring.
Yes.
And that's what I found myself like, oh, I've never been here before. Oh, how did I get here? Or this, and I always end up where I want to go eventually.
It might take a little longer.
But I'm like, I'm always amazed at what I find in the process.
Yeah, I go from pretty much park entrance to Expedition Everest first thing. It's either Expedition Everest or Kilimanjaro Safaris first thing.
Yeah.
And I don't think I've ever taken the same route there.
No, there's so many different ones you can. And you can cut by the tree. You can go around. You can,
and I'm completely okay with that.
Yeah,
I don't care if it takes me an extra 10 minutes to get to my attraction. I can wait. It's enjoyable to me.
Oh, totally.
It is so much fun just walking around this.
Yeah,
park.
I love exploring this park.
It is amazing.
Yeah.
So the first area that you walk into is the Oasis, and in the Oasis, there are the Oasis exhibits. Each land, if you look at a Disney World park map of Animal Kingdom, every area has the first thing right underneath the area title is animal highlights for that area.
Yeah.
So every area has animals in it. Every area has animals that fit the area, the theming of that area. And it's all superbly well done.
Yeah. Do the animals feel, even beyond off the safari, they still feel like they're in their natural habitat? You feel like you've wandered into their habitat instead of like, oh, I'm in a building and there's a giraffe or whatever, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. And it's so well done and so great in that, yeah, like you said, we do meander into their habitat.
Oh, there's an animal over here. Oh, okay.
I think whenever I walk in, because when you walk in, you can't see the Tree of Life.
Yeah.
You can't see you're just in jungle, basically.
Yeah. Thick jungle.
Very thick jungle.
I feel like you can't see anything. I just feel like I'm walking through the forest.
Yeah, and it's so cool, though. It's so unique in that there's nothing like it. There's absolutely nothing like it that I've ever experienced before at a theme park.
No, absolutely not.
Even at zoos, nothing comes close.
No, because like I said, a lot of zoos feel more like a museum in a lot of ways. Like they have brick buildings. They have.
Yeah.
I've seen more zoos go to themed areas, but I think Animal Kingdom did it right.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. Yes.
And as much as it's not a zoo, it's still a great place to see animals, which is...
Yes, the animals are a main draw for this park.
Yeah.
So if you don't like animals,
if you
don't really go to Animal Kingdom.
That should go without saying, but
I mean, Gotta say
I'm sure somebody was like, "Wait, there's animals here?
There's animals at this kingdom? What does that mean?"
I just wanted more rides."
There are some fantastic rides at this.
There are, and some of my favorites,
without a doubt.
Yeah,
I think it has probably 2 of my favorite rides at all of Disney World.
Yeah.
But so back to the areas.
After our tangent there,
little tangent.
So we walk in, you're in the Oasis.
Yeah, and the Oasis has tropical animals and tropical gardens.
Okay.
And that's the attraction in the Oasis is the Oasis exhibits, which has those animals and gardens. The Oasis is very tropical, like the name suggests. It's probably it's a very good entrance to this park.
It is.
I love tropical stuff, so it fits well with my with
what you want out of an Animal Kingdom park.
Yes, out of any theme park.
Yeah.
I mean, Adventureland and Tomorrowland are my 2 favorite lands in Magic Kingdom.
Oh,
so
that makes sense then.
Like, this is Adventureland on steroids. It works. So then after the Oasis, you continue on a bit, and then there's Discovery Island. And this has 4 different attractions. It has Wilderness Explorers, which is basically Agent P's World Showcase adventure in Animal Kingdom.
And it's themed to Up, right?
Yes.
If I remember right.
Yes. The Wilderness Explorers from Up is you can collect badges. You complete challenges and earn badges throughout the park.
Okay.
It's pretty cool. It's more geared towards the younger audiences, but they don't have an age limit on this. I'm gonna do it next time that I go.
Unlike Jedi
Jedi Training Academy. Come on. I just want to battle Darth Vader.
I'm 7. No, you're not, sir.
Come on.
Sir, just go away. Okay.
I just want to beat Darth Maul. I've had that dream since Phantom Menace.
So that one goes throughout the park?
Yes.
Okay.
So this is the only place that you can pick up.
Like you said, it's the Agent P's.
Yeah.
That's a good equivalent. Yeah.
Yeah. It's very comparable to that. It's not quite as... It's not digital, I think. There's just Wilderness Explorer.
Yeah, last time I was there, I remember kind of seeing a few kids doing it. It seemed kind of a good mix of like the Agent P's, and then also they have, what's the other one they do in Epcot where the kids can go and they like color.
Oh, Kid Cot?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a mix of that.
Yeah.
A little more analog than Agent P's, but a little more exploring than Kid Cot.
Yeah, which harkens back to the whole goal of this park is to get you to explore.
Yeah.
So this is a great way to
encourage
educate and conserve. So this is a great way to encourage your kids to explore a bit.
Yeah.
Which is always great in a theme park. I'm definitely going to do this next time that I go because I don't think it was was soft opening when I was last there, which tells you how long ago it was since I've last been to Animal Kingdom.
Wow.
But it seems fun.
Do they give out cloth, like actual patch badges? Because I would totally do it for that. So
yeah,
I could, like,
without a doubt. That'd be sweet. I don't know, actually.
I'll have to look that up.
I'd love to find out. So then, also in Discovery Island is It's Tough to Be a Bug, which is inside the park icon, the Tree of Life.
And this is the 4D.
It is a 4D.
So you're wearing 3D glasses, and there's things that happen in the theater.
It's a little scary.
It really is, actually. I had not... So the first time I went to this park was 2011.
Okay. Really?
The previous time I had gone...
Man.
It's 2010. I don't know. Whenever Andrea and I went the first time.
Yeah.
Because the previous time I had gone to Disney World, was under construction. They were talking about it. It was like kind of a rumor or whatever. It was not... Because it was 1985 before that.
Oh, man. That's a long time
So
ago.
I had never been. She had. And she didn't warn me. And I went into this and I was like, this is kind of like... When the bees sting you in the back, I was like, I jumped. I was like out of my seat. Like, what is happening? Because I don't really love bugs either.
Nope.
Bugs are not my thing, my jam. So
I was like,
they're not your friends. And then I see kids in there, and I'm always like, oh, this kid's he's gonna lose it. He's gonna lose it.
This is one of my favorite
Now that I know what
video
it's
attractions.
it is fun.
It's so much. There's so many things happening in here, and there's so many effects in this film. So it is a film based off of A Bug's Life. So Flick shows up. There's an audio animatronic of Flick. There's a bunch of different bugs that you don't really see in It's Tough to Be a Bug,
but you feel.
Yes,
like I said, the bees and the beetles or something. Ants.
There are so many surprises in this film.
It is really enjoyable.
It's so much fun.
But again, go into it knowing if you have kids,
it's scary.
It's scary, and they're going to be terrified at times.
There's Hopper that shows up.
Yeah,
and
some spiders.
He jumps out. Some black widows come down.
Again, the bees sting you in the back.
Yes,
out of the back of your seat.
I think you've said that about 8 times.
Because it was scary. I did not like that.
I love taking people on this attraction
and
for
then
the first time.
Squirm.
And then just saying, all right, this is it's just about It's Tough to Be a Bug. And then when the bees come and stab them in the back, they flip out, and it's so funny.
Yeah.
I bet Andrea was on the floor laughing.
I'm sure she was. I was too freaked out. I don't know the spiders either. Some spiders coming out. I didn't. But all that said, it is really enjoyable.
It is a very fun one.
And it tells you a good story, too, because it kind of tells you the relationship that bugs play in
the world,
in the ecological system of the world, and their roles. And it fits very much the theme. And this will come up over and over again, as I'm sure, as we talk through the attractions.
Without a doubt.
Education seems to be a big theme on a lot of the attractions.
It's education and conservation, yes. And this does it in a very fun way.
Yeah.
They really push the entertainment, and if people learn something, that's all the better. They push that in this park. And so next on Discovery Island is the Discovery Island Trails, which are pathways around the Tree of Life. And the Tree of Life, for those of you who don't know, is a giant tree that has animals carved into it.
So basically the bark of the tree is
animals.
Animals, yeah. So if you look closely, you're like, oh, there's a deer, or there's an owl, or a tiger, or
a gorilla, even though there wasn't a gorilla when they first built the tree. So they had to add it in.
Did they really?
I think you can only see it on either these trails or the queue for It's Tough to Be a Bug.
Okay.
And there's like a plaque there that's like, we forgot a gorilla, so here's a gorilla.
And are these part of the nighttime? I'm sure we'll get to the nighttime stuff now, or later. But my understanding is like some of them, the projections are on that animal, and then you watch that animal like leap off the tree.
Kind of spring to life. So at night, the Discovery Island trails really become a whole new experience, and it's really cool from what I've seen. And like you said, the animals are projected, and they're all lit up and projected as they are the animals, and then there's some animation to the animals, and they jump off.
That's part of that.
Yeah, and it's so cool.
Yeah, I've seen some videos, and I'm excited to see it next time we go.
Oh man, me too. And the last thing on Discovery Island is the Adventurers Outpost, which is a meet and greet with Mickey and Minnie.
In their safari gear, I assume?
Yes.
Okay.
Without it, no, it's in their Sorcerers of the Magic Kingdom
I don't know.
gear.
Sometimes they put weird things in weird places. Let's be honest.
That is kind of true. But no, this is very fitting to Animal Kingdom.
Okay, I figured it was, because I feel like every character I've seen has been.
Yes. And then over, I guess it's to the left, isn't it?
Yeah, if you're coming in, you kind of go to the left. And again, this park is very windy, doesn't feel very linear
at all.
Which
fits.
Unlike Hollywood Studios, fits and works to this park's
advantage.
benefit.
Yes, benefit, advantage. It is.
Yeah.
It's
so to the left is kind of the Africa.
Well, so like you walk in and you're immediately in the Oasis, and then Discovery Island is directly ahead, and then Africa is off to the left.
Yeah.
You can also get to Africa from Discovery Island.
Yeah,
because there's pathways, there's bridges and pathways that come up, which I think that's what I always do, just because it's a little more scenic.
Yeah.
Whenever I first walk in.
Yeah.
But in Africa, there is 4 attractions again, and the first one being Festival of the Lion King, which is a fantastic show.
It really is. Done in the round.
Yeah,
which is really cool.
Is it? Yeah.
Wouldn't that be considered the round?
Yeah, I guess so.
People are sitting on all sides of the stage.
Yes.
The stage is the middle of the room.
Yeah, so that's, yeah. Fair enough.
I mean, that's why I call it round. I don't know. Maybe I got my theater terms mixed up.
I was thinking that's what they called the old show building for it. Because it's in a new location
yeah.
now.
No, they moved it down off the beaten path a little more. And
it fits so well now.
It really does.
Have you been there since they opened it up?
Yeah. So when we were there 2014?
14. I think it was.
It had just opened, or that year had.
Well, I think it opened in 2012. Because
No,
I had been there since they opened it up
maybe.
over there.
Okay.
So the last time I was there was
All right.
2012. So yeah.
And we had a person in our party who is handicapped. And so
Yeah.
we were able to sit very, very close. And I got some really good photos. I love some of the and I actually won a photo contest with one of them.
Yeah. But
Love this show.
it's a great show.
Yeah. It's a mix of live action or live people characters
with some puppets.
with some puppets, but they're really well done, unlike one of the other shows we'll talk about later.
I don't think those ones are horrible. But everything it's basically a celebration in the Lion King universe.
Yeah.
And it's so much fun. The acrobatic monkeys in there
Those
are
are my favorite.
they're so cool to watch.
The bird is pretty cool too.
The bird's
bird lady.
sweet, yeah. Ton of it can get a little emotional in this show. It touches on just about every part of the majority of African culture, I would say.
Yeah, no, it's a very well done show.
It's superb. Worth a visit every time that you go.
Oh, totally.
And then there's Kilimanjaro Safaris, which you brought up a little earlier.
Several times.
A bit.
Kind of like the bees.
Yes. And so do you want to talk about this one? You want to describe it?
Well, I mean, its name kind of describes it. It's a
Kind of.
safari through a made up like
Nature
preserve. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was the word I was looking for. You end up seeing a lot of animals from different regions, which is kind of why it's
Yeah.
like, because you go through kind of jungly areas, you go through the kind of Serengeti type, you go
through the savannah type.
Yeah.
And you see everything from lions to
there's some cheetahs, there's
Cheetahs.
some giraffes, there's some elephants, there's some flamingos,
there's all sorts of animals. There's hippos. There's
all the other kind of
crocodiles.
like gazelle type. There's all sorts of different
There are a ton
breeds
of those.
Yeah.
This is so cool. If you love getting pictures and love taking pictures of animals, this is it. Right
Bring
here.
your zoom lens though. They are very close, but they're still pretty far away. One of the really cool things about this is it feels very natural. That's one of the things I love about it.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
If the animal's dangerous, for lack of a better term, you don't see how they're separating you from the animal if you're not looking. If you do look, you can see, yeah, okay, there's a fence there. Or
if you look and
we're
you
12
know what
feet
you're
in the
looking
air, okay, that makes a little more, but it looks very natural. Like you're rolling through these animals' habitats.
for. Yeah, and it is a mellow ride.
It's very bumpy though.
There are a few surprises. It is a very bumpy ride. There are a few surprises on it, but it is such a fun ride.
Very enjoyable, yeah. And if you love seeing animals, again, hopefully you're coming to Animal Kingdom for that reason. Great opportunity to see some and see them in a little more natural habitat than a zoo.
A much
would
more
otherwise,
natural
yeah.
habitat than the zoo. This attraction actually, in and of itself, is the size of Magic Kingdom,
That's always a stat that I love hearing.
which is so
so
amazing.
crazy.
It is. I think Magic Kingdom is like 100 acres, just over 100 acres. This attraction is just over 100 acres.
That's insane.
It's obnoxious.
But you have to. I mean, for all the number of animals you will see, you can understand why that's so huge.
I think it's actually closer to like 200 acres.
If you,
This
I wonder if
attraction.
you include all the backstage too.
Yeah.
It probably gets even bigger because
It probably is.
there's all the places where these animals live at night.
But it's massive.
Yeah.
And it's so cool.
It is.
And they just started some nighttime safaris over here.
Which I think we talked about that a little bit on the news. I think it was that episode with Wade
Yeah.
where I had seen the lions are much more active in that kind of
They are
sundown.
extremely active.
Because normally when you're right in the middle of the day, if
It's
anyone
kinda-
who has a house cat could tell you, cats are just like laying around napping, and that's usually what they're doing.
That's pretty much it, yeah.
So if you ride it early enough in the morning, if you happen to be there at a time of the year where it's open a little earlier,
Or if you're there at a time of the year when it was open later, because I went
Yeah.
the week between Christmas and New Year's, and we actually got some nighttime-ish. It was like right around sundown. So I think the last safari went out at like 6:30 or something like
Okay.
that. I know now they do them until like park close.
yeah.
Um,
But the lions are way more active in those hours. The middle of the day,
Oh,
they're a little lazier.
yeah,
So,
because we rode it earlier in the day, and they were just kind of lounging around. And then we got another fast pass for it using Fast Pass, the My Magic Plus, which is so great.
yeah,
We got another one for like the last safari.
that's awesome.
And so we rode it again, and they were much more active. They were roaring a bit.
Yeah,
They
that's
were-
what I've seen videos and stuff of is they
Yeah.
roar a lot more, and it's like, oh, okay, they do something.
you actually move.
Yeah.
So
So-
next up did you want to say something else?
No. I was just gonna continue on with that conversation
yeah.
because I'm so excited. I'm excited to go in the future. And
I think we'll talk a little bit more about that
I'm sure we
attraction
will.
later on. But next up in Africa is Pangani Forest Exploration Trails, which features gorillas, hippos, and exotic birds.
so the first time I found this area,
Yeah.
I felt like I had discovered something new. Like
Kind
it
of
wasn't
secret, too.
Like it wasn't supposed to be there. Like I found there's a gorilla. It's like
Yeah.
and birds and
Yeah, it is kind of right at the exit from Kilimanjaro
safaris. Yeah.
Kilimanjaro safaris, and so it does feel a bit more natural to go off of that directly into the trail of this.
Yes, it does. Yeah.
And it's so cool. The first trail that I found was the one in Asia, and we were walking through. I think we were trying to get to like Expedition Everest, and we were walking through it, and we took a wrong turn, and we were all like, "Wow, this is so cool." Is this just on every normal path in
I know
Animal
that's when you start to
Kingdom?
think like, are there just these?
They're just animals hanging out everywhere.
This is awesome.
Because I mean, when you do first get into Asia, there is like those spider monkeys just hanging out right there.
yeah, in the middle there, as you
Yeah.
where you could peel off to go to
Everest or Kali.
the Kali River
Right.
Rapids. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah, you feel like it feels that's what's
It's so
incredible about
natural.
this park is it just feels so natural to like, oh, there's an animal. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Like it should be there. Yeah, why wouldn't it be?
exactly, and this is no exception. This trail, so that there are more trails like this
Through other parts of the
in other areas, yes. And this one it features gorillas, hippos, and exotic birds, and it's so fun to just walk around and explore it.
yeah, I love it.
So the next up in Africa is the Wildlife Express train, which gets you to Rafiki's Planet Watch, which is our next area.
Surprising.
Wow.
That's weird how that works.
So in Rafiki's Planet Watch, there are 4 attractions. I'm sensing a theme here. There is the Wildlife Express train, which gets you back to Africa. And that is the only way to get to Rafiki's Planet Watch and to Africa, which is like the main, Africa and the rest of the park.
Yeah.
Rafiki's Planet Watch is kind of like an extension of Animal Kingdom.
Yeah, it's out there. Yeah.
It is pretty far out there.
You get to see some backstage, some animal houses and
If you're there early enough.
yeah.
Yes. But that brings us into the first attraction, which is Habitat Habit, which features cotton top Tamarian monkeys. Or Tamarin monkeys.
Either way.
So many new words.
It's true.
But those are like it's an exhibit of those monkeys, and you get to see them in a more natural habitat than you would at any zoo.
Yeah.
We're going to be saying that a lot throughout this
It's
this
anytime we bring up
episode,
an animal, yeah.
every time. And then there's the conservation station, which gives you the chance to see animal encounters, exhibits, and veterinary facilities. So this is what you were talking about, where you get to see some backstage kind of.
No, on the train too. You
Oh yeah.
when you take it, there's some not backstage, but just animal houses.
Yeah. Oh
too,
yeah.
along the way. That's
Yeah.
what I was saying. But
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. Here you get to see if anyone's in need of veterinary care, they might be there.
Yeah. And this is really cool if you're kid or if you want to go into be a vet, you can see kind of firsthand how it's done, very up close, pretty much face to face. I mean, I know there's just some glass in between you.
It's right there.
It's so cool if you get the chance to do it. It doesn't really happen a whole lot in the afternoon or evening. If there's an emergency, then it'll be in the evening, but most of the time it's just morning stuff.
Yeah.
So get there early, hop on the train, go over there, and go check it out.
Yeah.
And then there's the affection section. And this is a petting yard with rare domestic breeds. It's pretty cool.
It is.
You get to come up close and personal with some really, like they say, rare domestic breeded animals.
Yeah.
I know there's some alpacas there. I think there's some miniature horses over there, right?
Something like that, yeah.
There's definitely some other animals that you don't really get to encounter every day if you're living kind of in a city.
Yeah. Sure.
Which I think is their definition of rare.
Yeah.
We get to see a few more animals out here.
The neighbors, not my neighbors, but neighbors nearby have alpacas.
Yeah, it's like, but if you live in a city, you get to see some pretty cool.
And kids
animals.
love it anyway, or
oh yeah, without a doubt. This is pretty similar actually to what Disneyland just took out from their Big Thunder Mountain.
Where they had the baby goats.
Yeah. It's the same type of stuff that's over there. Was over there.
Yeah.
There's Star Wars Land right there now, so.
Oh, it's construction.
I'll take
right
it.
There now.
I actually just got a picture today from my friend, and there's some more vertical things happening.
I'm excited.
I'm so stoked. So then you got to come back from Rafiki's Planet Watch back to Africa, and if you keep continuing on the path in the same direction from the entrance, so away from the entrance, you will hit Asia.
Yep.
And in Asia, there are 4 attractions. 4.
Not 3.
Attractions.
4. Okay.
There's 4.
Of course there.
The first of which is Flights of Wonder, which is an exotic bird show that takes about 25 minutes.
Okay. Have you ever done it?
I have not.
Neither have I.
It's kind of one of those ones that my family just mulls over.
Mine too, yeah.
25
minutes long, and with kids now, 25 minutes is
Yeah.
a long time to be sitting and...
Yeah. So you're saying you're not going to be riding Ellen's Energy Adventure anytime soon?
I doubt it. Or I'll be handing him an iPhone playing Wally or something.
Oh, there you go.
Halfway through it.
Putting him to sleep. There you go.
Yeah. Or giving him snacks or something.
I have heard very positive things about this show, though.
I have heard too, yeah. I
It's-
just haven't had a chance.
Yeah.
A lot of times when we're moving from Africa to Asia, it's because we have a fast pass or something else to meet.
There's another
There's a deadline
reason you're
somewhere
going.
in there, yeah.
Yeah. But I've heard very good things about this show, and I know they bring out the birds before and after the show too.
And in fact, one day
And they fly around. Yeah.
I think I Instagrammed this back when literally I was standing there and I was like standing next to a bathroom and waiting, and these like giant colorful birds land on this post next to me, and I'm like, oh, is there something happening? And then sure enough, some lady came out and started telling us about the birds, and they were like right there.
Yeah.
It was really cool, and they flew over the crowd, and when they landed, it was really neat.
Yeah, and they do that all the time, and I mean this show showcases the birds' abilities and just everything about the birds, and it teaches you a lot about the birds.
Nice.
And it's very cool.
I should probably do it next time.
I should do
when I get a chance.
Next is the Maharaja Jungle Trek, which features Southeast Asia theme. Well, it's a Southeast Asia theme, so
there's
it has
tigers.
There's tigers, bats, and Komodo dragons.
So this is very much like the ones we were just talking about over in Africa, where it's just kind of trails, and
you just
feel like you're
stumble upon
wandering into habitats. Like, there's a tiger here.
Yeah, like this one. This one, you feel like you're running into like temple ruins.
Yeah,
and there's like tigers just chilling out.
Which is, again,
And
the theming is just so top notch.
It's insane. And even the bats, like there's glass where the temple is kind of like crumbled down. So there's glass there for the tigers, but for the bats, there's nothing. Bats fly all over, and they're it's so cool.
It is cool.
I remember the first time that we experienced this. My little brother, he's not too fond of bats, and so we went there. We kind of just stumbled upon this, and we were walking through trying to get over to Expedition Everest, and my brother we stopped in the bat room for a while. I don't know why. I think we were waiting for some family members or something. And a bat came by and like swooped right next to my brother, and he freaked out.
Nice.
He was not too happy with it.
I can imagine that's a little freaky.
Just a bit. The next ride is Cali River Rapids.
All right.
And this is a river raft ride that has a height requirement of 38 inches to ride.
38, that's it?
38 inches.
Right.
Yeah, it's not too tall.
Trey's almost there then.
Oh, there you go.
Good one. And the funny thing to me, too, is this is like, it's educational, too. Like, there's a whole story to it of
deforestation stuff and conserving the forests. Yeah. There's still that push of conservation, which is awesome. And it is a fun ride.
It is.
It is a little short. I always like to compare it to Grizzly River Run, which I should stop doing because my expectations are set very high for Cali because of Grizzly River Run.
You will get very wet on this ride.
Yes.
Or you will not get wet at all. But
there is no in between.
A few people will get so soaked. Like everything is soaked.
Yes. And then there are the others that just get lucky. There is no in between.
No.
You're either drenched or you're not.
Yeah. And I somehow always am the one that's not. I'm like sitting there watching everybody else in my family get wet.
I'm always the one that is. We should sit next to each other next time.
Okay. Maybe we'll find the middle ground then.
We'll find that in between. And then the last attraction in Asia is Expedition Everest. Legend of the Forbidden Mountain.
Yeah.
Sorry, I forgot the latter half of that.
Sorry, everybody just calls it Expedition Everest.
That's true. This is a roller coaster that goes forwards and backwards, and it has a 44-inch height requirement. Very fun, very thrilling, exquisitely themed.
Yeah, the whole queue and everything, too.
The queue is a museum.
This whole...
To Everest,
what, the
really.
Yeti? Is it called a Yeti?
Yeah, it's the Yeti.
Yeti.
They call it the Yeti. It's not the Abominable Snowman.
No, it's the Yeti.
That's over at Disneyland, I believe.
Yeah, on the
Matterhorn.
On the Matterhorn.
Although I think it is.
So you feel like you're walking through a museum about this Yeti.
It doesn't really just feel like you're walking through a museum. You are walking through a museum. There are so many Everest artifacts.
You'd almost feel like you really were like there are really legit Everest artifacts, and then there's also the kind of the Yeti story mixed in.
Yeah,
because you're supposed to kind of get this feeling like, oh, there might be a Yeti.
There's something up there that
something lurking in the mountain.
So you board a train, and it is themed to a train.
I love it too. It's like loaded down with like backpacks and gear. I mean, it looks like you're going on an expedition.
Sweet, because when it first rolls in, to the station, so like there's two separate parts of the station. There's the drop-off part and the loading part.
Yeah.
When it comes into the drop-off part, steam comes out of the back of the train, and then when it comes in, the whistle goes and steam comes out as well.
Yeah.
And it
looks like a real train. Yeah.
It is sweet.
I'm sure this one will come up in our top three,
without a doubt. So we're going to talk about that a little later. We're moving on. If you keep continuing along the path, you're kind of on the far end of the park right now, as far as you can get without going onto Rafiki's Planet Watch. But if you keep continuing in the same direction, you're gonna hit Dino Land USA, and this is kind of the land before, as you kind of circle back to the main entrance.
So had you come into the main entrance, we took a left. But if we had taken a right, we would have gone to Dino Land first.
First thing, yeah.
Okay.
So Dino Land USA has more than 4 attractions.
Fail.
It actually has 6 attractions.
Fail.
And the first of which is the Boneyard, which is a dinosaur dig site playground.
Which is pretty awesome.
It's pretty sweet.
For kids.
I wish I was a little younger to play in this.
Apparently you just need to be 7 years old.
I just need to get a time machine.
Get a time machine, go back and be 7. Tell your 7-year-old self to go to Disney World and do everything.
Oh, that'd be sweet. But it is geared towards kids. Very fun, very kid-friendly. Great way for kids to get their energy out and parents to sit down and get some energy back.
Yeah. Totally.
Yes. Next is Fossil Fun Games, which are carnival-style games.
Exactly, yeah.
That's about it. They're carnival-style games. They're done in a Disney fashion, so it's not as cheap or cheesy.
Yeah, because some of they still kind of seem.
There's a few that are a little cheesy, but they're not. They don't feel cheap.
Because this area is odd to me, because we'll get to it here in a second. But Dinosaur, the main ride, is deemed very classy, like you're actually going to an institute. The rest feels like a 12-year-old's birthday party themed to dinosaurs. I mean,
like a carnival of dinosaurs.
I mean, it kind of does, and it's kind of themed as like a carnival for dinosaurs.
But the whole story behind it fits.
It does,
because Chester and Hester came out with their Dino-Rama, and I believe they were working at the Dinosaur Institute, or the Dino Institute brought enough people over there that they're like, hey, we can open up a Dino-Rama, which is kind of a roadside attraction of,
and it feels that way.
Includes carnival stuff, and it does feel that way. It is a little cheesy. This is where people kind of start to get a little frustrated with the Animal Kingdom.
That's where I do,
a little bit.
Yeah,
it's done, but it's done in a way that isn't as bad as like a normal one.
It's true.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
no, it doesn't feel gross like a real carnival, or
not at all. No,
it's done in a fun and kids love it kind of way.
Yeah,
it is a little just odd because, again,
just slightly,
as we'll talk, dinosaurs themed very
exquisitely professionally.
You know,
but Dinosaur does take place in the Dino Institute, and that is that was the main attraction. And so then Chester and Hester came along, and we're like,
the story makes sense.
Let's set this up. And they set up a roadside attraction, and it draws people over there. And then the Dinosaur Institute is kind of just in the back right there.
So then Primeval Whirl's in there too, right?
Yes.
In
Chester Hester's kind of area, which Primeval Whirl is our next attraction, and it is a spinning wild mouse roller coaster.
Okay.
So it does have a 48-inch height requirement.
It's actually pretty tall.
It is very tall, yes. But this is kind of another criticism of Animal Kingdom and of Disney parks for a section. Whoever the CEO before Iger came in, they were purchasing a bunch of off-the-shelf rides and sticking them into Disney parks and being like, there you go, new ride, let's go.
Yeah.
Moving on. Cheap way to do it.
Can't blame them in some ways, but in other ways, it's like, come on, Disney.
A lot of ways, it is like, come on, Disney, you need to fix this. Let's get something Disney in here.
Yeah.
It's still a fun ride. I enjoy it a lot. It's always fun riding a spinning wild mouse. I mean, there aren't a whole lot of those left around, really, because everybody is going towards those custom rides.
Yeah.
That these off-the-shelf rides are kind of
going
fading
away.
out.
Yeah.
But so it has a few big drops. It has a few sharp turns.
Oh yeah, it's like you said, it's a wild mouse.
It spins a bit.
Yeah.
The next attraction is Finding Nemo the Musical, which is a puppet show retelling of Finding Nemo.
And it's not like in this land. I mean,
it's kind of in this land.
It's kind of in this land, but it's kind of on the side, so.
Yeah, it's kind of it's in between Asia and Dinoland USA.
In some ways it feels a little bit like they wedged it in there, where they
a little bit
had a theater or whatever.
It's kind of like the Matterhorn over at Disneyland, where it sits in between two lands. Because the Matterhorn is in between. Matterhorn's actually the only attraction that moved at Disneyland, because it was originally in Fantasyland, and then it jumped over to Tomorrowland, and then it jumped back over to Fantasyland. So
this one physically moved, though, right? It's just
it's there. It used to be included in Fantasyland. Well, when it first opened, it was included in Fantasyland, and then it was included in Tomorrowland on the map, and then now it's back over to.
So it kind of feels like that. It's kind of wedged in the middle.
Yeah, a little bit. But this is the show that you have issues with.
Well, so the issue I have with it is, one, it's just a retelling of Nemo, which I'm okay with.
In a musical fashion, though.
In a musical fashion, which is kind of fun.
There are some unique songs in there that
aren't from the movie, because it wasn't a musical.
Not at all.
The puppets are interesting to me because you have this person holding a fish on a stick that's slightly larger than their head, and talking for it. So you're seeing the person recite their lines next to their puppet.
Yeah.
So you see two mouths moving for one person talking.
Well, that's only if you're sitting real close. If you're sitting far back, you only see the puppet.
You just see a person holding a fish on a stick. I don't mind this show. I don't know. I don't want to get a text from Wade.
I can understand some of the disliking of it.
Yeah. I feel like they could have done something like, I love that Lion King is Lion King universe.
Yeah.
But it's not a retelling of the Lion King story.
It's just a celebration with it.
It's a celebration, and I get that. I would enjoy some side story of a Nemo instead of like a retelling of the movie.
So would you like to see Frozen in here instead?
Is that rumored to be happening?
No, not at all.
Okay.
I'm just asking.
No. No, because that would make no sense. This at least is animals.
Yeah.
But
what about a Finding Dory update?
That would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
And again, I would love to see again or a unique story.
Just something. So you just want something different.
Yeah, because
story-wise.
The retelling.
Are you okay with the puppets though? If the story were unique, would you be okay with the puppets?
Yes. They're just kind of funny at first when you're not expecting. So I guess my biggest thing is when I went to the first time.
Yeah.
I didn't know what to expect.
Okay.
We sat down and I'm like, wait, what is this? What's happening? What are those people doing with those fish on a stick? This is the show. Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
Oh, wow. All right.
Okay. It's the movie. It's just the movie. Oh, there's songs. Oh, that's kind of fun.
Okay.
I mean, it's an okay show. I'm not.
It is an okay show. It's
just
not a must see.
It's just really different. Like, I don't know.
Okay. You don't like change.
That's not. No.
That's basically all that we got out of here.
No, I think it could have been better executed.
Okay. I agree with you on that. I think Disney, when Finding Nemo was such a success, everybody just wanted to relive the story. Because the seas turned over to that, where it was kind of the same, oh, we got to find Nemo still.
Yeah.
The musical, this attraction came out where it's basically the same story again. Finding Nemo Submarine Voyage happened over at Disneyland, where it's basically the same story. It's understandable why they did it, but I do agree with you that a unique story would be a lot better.
I mean, it could even be Nemo getting lost again. I don't, like that's not.
Yeah,
but it's a different
version
story.
Of it. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. The next attraction is back over in Chester Hester's Dino-Rama, and it is Triceratops Spin, which is a Dumbo-like ride aboard Triceratops. So you're sitting in Triceratops, and the Triceratops are on arms that are attached to a center unit that is spinning.
Yep.
And you can control how high or low your Triceratops goes.
Yep.
If your kid likes Dumbo, put them on this. If your kid likes this, put them on Dumbo.
Or the Magic Carpets. Or both. Or all three.
Magic Carpets. Or Astro Orbiter.
Yeah.
Or so many others.
Yeah.
And then the last one is Dinosaur, which is... It has a 40-inch height requirement, and you go back in time to recover a dinosaur on a thrilling adventure.
And this is the same ride vehicle system as Indiana Jones and Disneyland.
Yes. So it is basically a Jeep is what you're supposed to feel like, although this one is themed to a time rover.
Kind of looks like a moon rover and a Jeep.
A bit.
Yeah.
Kind of a moon rover rover Jeep hybrid.
With a whole bunch of seats on it. Yeah.
Yes. Tons of seats.
Yeah.
It's very fun.
It is.
A lot of it's in the dark, though. Too many people compare this to Indiana Jones. You got to look at them as separate attractions.
Oh, yeah.
Which is the big issue with anything that's similar to any other attraction.
Yeah, anything like this that's going to use a ride vehicle but be a different ride is going to get compared.
Yeah, I mean, like when my family and I went to Universal Orlando, we rode the Amazing Spider-Man, or is it just the Amazing Adventures of Spider-Man? I think it's the Amazing Spider-Man.
Spider-Man ride.
We rode Spider-Man, and then we went over and rode Transformers: The Ride 3D. And after we rode Spider-Man, everybody in my family was like, "Wow, that's really cool." And then we rode Transformers, and everybody was like, "This is the same ride."
Yeah.
No, you got to look at it differently. Just because the ride vehicle is the same doesn't mean that the experience is the same.
Yeah.
Dinosaur is much milder than Indiana Jones.
Yes.
It is much milder than a typical roller coaster. It's not a roller coaster. It is very bumpy.
Yeah.
It is very fun. I enjoy dinosaurs to begin with. I mean, who doesn't?
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Everybody was fascinated with dinosaurs at one point in time.
Yeah.
So being able to go back in time and experience dinosaurs is always a cool experience.
Yeah, like you said, I think my biggest criticism of this would be the darkness.
It is
very dark for a long time.
There are long periods of darkness.
And that's
not
and
a whole
again,
lot
that's the difference
happening.
between like Indiana Jones. You see a lot more of the temple. You see a lot more going on.
Yeah, Indiana Jones is. I think it's only dark for a brief moment where you transition between scenes.
Yeah,
This one, it's dark pretty much every transition,
and even in
it's
general,
dark.
it's a very dark ride. Even the things you're supposed to see, you can kind of barely see them.
Yes, very true. But it's still fun. I still ride it every time I go. It is
Yeah.
still a must ride for me.
All right,
Speaking of must rides, let's jump into our top threes.
I'll start it off since we just talked about it.
There
My
you
number
go.
3 is Dinosaur.
All right.
And
Why?
I think it's still a really thrilling and fun ride.
Yeah.
I do agree. It has a lot of darkness.
Yes.
It's not nearly as good, despite it being the same ride vehicle as Indiana Jones, but it's still really enjoyable.
Okay. I will agree with all
Yeah.
that. My number 3.
And I love the scare too. Sorry to interrupt, but I love the scare. It gets
that
me. It gets me even. I'm like, oh,
That gets my little brother every time. It is so funny. We actually have a picture of him because the picture's
right,
taken
yeah,
then.
right that moment.
And he is freaking out. He's grabbing his shirt, pulling it, and just freaking out over that scare. And I'm sitting next to him, just cracking up. But yeah, it is a very enjoyable ride. It's very fun. But my number 3 is Primeval Whirl. This is only because it is the best themed spinning wild mouse that I've ever been on.
That's true.
And I mean, like I said, wild mouses, specifically spinning ones, are on the way out of a lot of theme parks.
Yeah.
You don't see them popping up anymore.
No.
They used to be popping up like weeds everywhere.
Oh yeah, because like you said, they're off the shelf.
It is off the shelf,
something that
very easy to manufacture.
every
very easy
park
to
could
build.
afford. You know.
Yeah, very cheap. It's still fun.
It is.
I enjoy it. Last time I rode it, I had a ton of fun on it. It's just fun because you get to interact with people that you're on ride with, and you get to have
That's
fun
true.
with them.
Yeah, that's
you
true.
know. So it's just fun in that aspect, and I enjoy that aspect of it a lot.
It does
more.
make me a little dizzy, but it is fun.
Just a bit, but it's not overwhelming. It's not like Mission Space.
No, nothing's like Mission Space.
So you're number 2.
Well, I see it's the same as yours.
It is.
Kilimanjaro Safaris.
Yes. Kilimanjaro Safaris is our number 2.
Yes.
Why is it number 2 for you?
It's a unique way to see animals.
Okay.
I like the theming a lot. It feels very genuine.
Yes.
That's something I really enjoy about it.
It doesn't feel cheesy.
It doesn't feel like they literally threw me in a Jeep and drove me through the back of the zoo. It
Yeah.
feels very genuine. It feels very real. I don't know. It's just, I think, really entertaining.
Okay.
I like animals, so it's good to see animals. It feels like they're in their natural habitat. I mean, literally, you can have your ride vehicle stopped because something's crossing the road. I mean, that's how
because
real
giraffes
it is.
walking
Yeah.
across or whatever. Yeah. I would say all of your points are very valid, and I would agree with all of them. And I would also say that it is just fun.
Yeah,
And
that
it's
is true.
unique.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said earlier when we first described it, there is no other attraction like this in any other
No.
park. And I think that's why I like it so much, and that's why it's my number 2.
Yeah.
It's not number 1 because, I mean, I'm a coaster guy, so that's why my number 1 is my number 1. But if my number 1 wasn't in this park, this would definitely be number 1.
Yeah. No, I think so.
And I'm sure this top 3 will change as soon as Avatar: The World of Pandora opens
because I'm
up.
sure there'll be something. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's
sure.
going to be something fun over there.
Yeah.
But Kilimanjaro Safaris is my number 2 just because of how unique it is.
Yeah.
It is unlike anything else you can experience really anywhere.
Short of going on a real safari. And like I said, my parents
Even
have
that,
done
yeah.
that. And they're like, we spent a whole day doing this and didn't see nearly.
not nearly as many animals as you see in the 15 minutes on this ride.
Yeah.
And your safari host gives you facts about all the animals. My favorite thing to do is when they ask you what a rhino horn is made out of, you say rhino. What? Because they always ask you, they're like, does anybody know what rhino horn is made out of?
Rhino.
And I always yell, rhino. And they're like, well, technically, yes. But no, it's ivory. It's always fun just doing that stuff. Kind of messing with your, interacting with your safari host.
I always answer their questions before they ask. What's the line called? Simba. What's the round called? Kafaru.
That's funny. So you've been on that a few
Sir,
times.
can you let the children answer next time?
No.
Okay. Yeah.
No. Next time.
Yeah.
Then that's when you have your kid right in front of you and you yell,
Kafaru. What's your number one? Or what's our number one?
Our number one is Expedition Everest. For me, I'm a coaster guy. So coasters are where it's at for me. And I have not been on a coaster that is themed as well as this.
I think theming is probably why I put it pretty high on mine too.
Yeah. If it were just the bare bones of this coaster, it would not even make this list.
Yeah, I mean, I, as a coaster though, being able to go forward and backward,
it's very unique.
It is.
It's pretty cool. More coasters are doing it now though, where you go forwards and backwards.
At the time when it was done though, it was pretty.
It was one of the first that ever happened, and at the time when it first opened, the Yeti was working. Now it's just Disco Yeti. Hashtag we don't want disco. Hashtag fix the Yeti. Somebody needs a
strobe light.
It's a strobe light.
Somebody
on
needs
the
to
Yeti.
get a good video of it and put it to disco music, and then
just loop it.
Start passing it around social media.
Hashtag no more disco. We put that task out there to you guys.
Yeah,
make it happen.
Find a good HD video of the Yeti and its strobe lights and put it to some disco music.
Make it happen.
Put it up on Vine.
But when it first opened, I was there in 2006. I believe it opened early 2006. I was there late 2006. It was either early 2006 or late 2005 is when it opened up.
Okay.
But I was there pretty much the year after, and I remember waiting. We got into the park, and a half hour after park opened, grabbed a fast pass for it because that was back when they were doing paper fast passes.
Yeah.
And our time slot for it was at 6:30 at night. It was immensely popular. It still is very popular. It's not nearly as popular as it used to be.
No, but still very much, yeah.
Majority of the day, the line, if it's a busy day, it'll probably be around an hour.
Does it have single rider?
It does.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. So you can also single rider this, which is a hack that we'll talk into of future episodes.
Yeah, we
some
should
hacks.
a hack episode. Yeah,
we will. We'll do one. But I remember that Yeti was so lifelike when it actually lunged out and like reached for you.
That's what. Yeah,
I had dreams about it for a week afterwards. It was. It is so much fun. Just riding that ride over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Nowadays, because you can with My Magic Plus and just single rider and
single rider and
even the queue is
playing it right
around 30 minutes. Plus that queue,
I could spend all day in that queue.
I am 100% okay waiting an hour as long as I'm inside that queue.
Yeah.
There's so much to look at, so many things to just read. My mom even likes waiting in line for that, which is saying something because she hates waiting in lines.
That's awesome, though.
But it is my number one because it is fantastically themed. It is a roller coaster. It is a very thrilling roller coaster. It has some sweet drops in it. It goes forwards and backwards. It's a unique roller coaster.
That one turn, man, gets me every time, too.
Oh, which one?
The one when you're coming downhill.
Out of the mountain?
Yeah, and it's that bank
the first
turn.
one? Yeah,
I'm like,
the first big one.
Yeah.
It's so much fun.
Yeah.
Plus the story within the ride of the Yeti destroying the track. The Yeti ripping out the track. You seeing the Yeti rip out the track, and then you seeing the Yeti. They tease you a little bit. They tease you a little bit more because like when you first get on it, you're just cruising around outside, and then you go up into the mountain, and you go through a temple that has drawings of the Yeti on it.
Yeah.
And then you go up and you crest over it, and you can see some footprints and handprints of the Yeti. And then you cruise over and you stop because the Yeti tore up the track. And if you look off in the distance, actually, you can see Epcot, which is pretty cool.
That is cool too.
And if you look up to the left, up and left, you can see a bald eagle on a stick, which is pretty fun. I always like pointing it out to whoever I'm riding with. I'm like, bird on a stick.
It is kind of cheesy looking. Oh, there's this. Yep.
And then like you see the ripped up track, and then the next time that you see the Yeti or the Yeti's effects, it's the shadow of the Yeti ripping up the track
ripping up even more track,
and he's yelling at you and he's growling at you, and then the next time that you see the Yeti's effects, it's the Yeti.
Yeah.
And he's huge, and he's right there.
He's huge.
And he used to lunge out at you, not anymore. Now he just has a flashing light on him.
Disco Yeti.
Disco Yeti, fix the disco. But yeah, I love this ride.
No, I love it too.
The story.
Yeah, everything you just said, yeah.
It all works.
I even love the area around it theming.
Yeah.
I'm a huge backpack geek, as you know, but and I'm sure we'll come up at some point when we talk about backpacks.
Some camera stuff.
Yeah. There's like a whole, like, it looks like an expedition village. Like there's just backpacks hanging everywhere. There's like, like I don't know why, but I love it.
Yeah,
The whole area, the whole ride, everything about it.
It adds so much to this park. It took what the park needed, which was a proper thrill ride. Because up until this point, Dinosaur was the thrill ride.
Which, like we talked about, Dinosaur is lacking maybe a little in the
thrill department.
But
But this steps it up.
Yeah.
Steps it up majorly. And it's done in such a great fashion.
Yeah.
Have you ridden this ride at night?
Yes.
It is.
Well, no.
I've ridden it
Evening-ish,
at night.
but not
I've ridden it night. Before the nighttime stuff happened at Animal Kingdom.
Because of the extra hours for holiday times.
Well, no. Whenever they do extra hours over there, I think it's just in the morning.
Oh. But was this when it was like...
This was
Christmas
between
week
Christmas and New
whatever, yeah.
Year's. Yeah, so they did extend the hours until I think like 9 o'clock. And so I got to ride it at night, and we rode it. It was my mom, my sister, my grandma, and I.
Okay.
And my sister and I, we went front row. And at night, front row, this ride just becomes so much better. Roller coasters at night in general are just better.
It is.
But this one specifically,
I can imagine.
it's much more intimidating, much more thrilling.
Even extra disco. Extra disco.
Much more disco-y. But yeah, it's a great attraction.
Yeah, I
and
agree.
that is the ride that when I ride it, because like you said at Magic Kingdom and like you said at Epcot,
It's like that ride. Like, I'm here now.
I'm at Animal Kingdom. Yes.
Well,
I think that does it.
all right.
Anything else you wanna mention?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I'm excited for Avatar Land too. I mean, we didn't really talk about it, but
we didn't talk a whole lot about that.
We don't
at all
know a lot about it
We
either.
don't
but
really. They've been very secretive about that.
We talked about that last week in the news that there's at D23.
There's
We're going to
gonna-
get some more
well,
information, and I'm sure we'll talk about it.
It's a D23 event. It's not at D23.
Oh, okay.
It's just an event for D23 members. So I'm sure some more stuff's going to spill then, which will be great. Can't wait to talk about it. I mean,
the only upside to that, to Avatar Land, as of yet, is that they didn't like take away a huge chunk of the park. Like that.
yeah,
Going back to Hollywood Studios,
they took
a lot away from that park. But Avatar Land just kind of happens, and it's like, oh, when it'll be open, it'll be like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I think everybody was a little happy when Avatar Land came around, and they're like, oh, they're taking out Camp Minnie Mickey.
Yeah.
Oh, shucks, I can't meet Minnie and Mickey.
Yeah.
Except now I can on Discovery Island.
Yeah.
So it's not like they took anything away. Everybody was a little worried about the Festival of the Lion King going away.
Yeah, and I think that's partially why it moved, wasn't it?
It was. It's so popular, and it's such a good show.
It is.
And so when they moved it, they were a little nervous that it wouldn't really fit in, but it fits in perfectly.
Yeah.
It's great. And so I think with Avatar Land, everybody was just kind of happy that they were taking out kind of an underutilized part of the park.
Absolutely.
Where with Star Wars Land and Toy Story Land,
we're losing some attractions.
We're losing some major things like the Osborne Family Spectacle of Dancing and Twinkling Lights.
Yeah.
Or I think it was just Dancing Lights on the last year.
They
changed that name so much.
Oh,
it used to just be the Osborne Family Spectacle of Lights, and then it was Osborne Family Spectacle of Dancing Lights, and then it was Osborne Family Spectacle of Dancing and Twinkling Lights, and then it had gone through multiple name iterations.
Well, I'm sure we'll revisit this park.
We definitely will, and it'll
either when we learn more about Avatar Land, maybe we'll do, a discussion with that.
Kind of a rumors with it, kind of what we did with Star Wars
Land.
Like
we did with Star Wars Land, and then eventually when it opens, we'll have to.
I mean, I'm going.
Yeah, I'm going.
I don't know about
at
you.
Some point. So we'll figure that out.
It'll happen. But we'll definitely revisit this park.
Oh, totally.
There's a ton of stuff that we
and even the
didn't talk
nighttime
about.
stuff that's still
that's
coming.
there
We talked about last week. And
so. The world of Phantasmic.
Jesus.
I'm excited. I'm still excited. I just want it.
I know.
Fix the Yeti. Bring me the world of Phantasmic. Come on.
And
Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go.
All right.
Well, do you have any final words?
No, I think that about wraps up Animal Kingdom for now.
Yeah,
we'll be back.
We're definitely going to visit this park again.
Yeah, we'll be back. Well, that wraps up episode number 9 of the Unmistakably Magic Podcast. Thank you for listening.
9 weeks.
I know.
9 weeks.
What are we going to do for 10?
I don't know.
Figure it out as we go.
We got something planned, though. We do have something fun planned for number 10. Don't worry.
Don't forget to check out our social media. Unmistakably Mag on Twitter. Unmistakably Magic on Instagram. Facebook.com/Unmistakably Magic. Don't forget to email us. If you have any questions, comments, concerns,
Show ideas.
Whatever
you want. Corrections.
If you want to gripe about how we bashed on...
Please email us. Don't text us. Email us.
Yeah. Wade. A big thank you to our friend Dylan over at Blast Off Branding, our awesome logo as always.
Be sure to check out our Spreadshirt, unmistakablymagic.spreadshirt.com. Still haven't put up those new designs. School's getting in the way.
Yeah.
But
eventually there'll be something
going up. Don't worry.
Don't forget to check out our friends over at Unmistakably Star Wars Podcast.
So those articles that I wrote for them.
Oh, are they up?
One of them debuted.
Okay.
Yes. So my review of Season of the Force debuted.
Okay, so unmistakably.starwars.com?
Yes. So unmistakably.starwars.com/blog.
Okay.
Or /the-blog.
I'm sure there's probably a link on the homepage.
There is a lot of it's a very user-friendly website.
Yeah,
don't worry. Just peruse there a bit.
Yeah, so Court wrote an article for them. Check it out, and always check out their podcast if you're a fan of Star Wars. And
yeah, they've been talking a lot about Rogue One recently, which has gotten me very amped for it. The hype is real with this one. Not gonna lie.
Hey, and don't forget to leave us a review on iTunes. It kind of helps get us out there, and
yeah, it always helps out. Even just dropping a like on YouTube, giving us a review on iTunes.
Yeah, don't forget to subscribe on YouTube too. Just search Unmistakably Magic. I don't know what our username is there, but
I think it's youtube.com/unmistakably magic, I believe.
Oh, I haven't tried it, I guess.
I don't know if it's /unmistakably magic. Search Unmistakably Magic.
We're the only one on there.
I do have some shout outs this week, though.
Do you?
Yeah. Oh. Shout out to Quinn. It's his birthday today.
Nice.
Happy birthday, Quinn.
Happy birthday, Quinn.
And Nathan. Shout out to Nathan. He's celebrating an anniversary.
So, congratulations,
Nathan.
And happy birthday, Quinn.
There you go.
All right, well, have a magical week.
See you real soon.